Okay, there's a lot of switchbacks on the trail leaving the Gregory House. Kind of reminds you of the Appalachians, which is what this habitat's actually like. It's more similar to that than other parts of Florida. And there's a ravine down there. So it's a unique trail there. So if you can come out here and visit, it'll be something different than some of the other parts of Florida that you've probably seen. Okay, I'm going to have to turn off the camera and concentrate on hiking. Okay, as I came up the trail, I noticed there's about a stairway or a path up there. Looked like it was blocked off, but the tape fell down. I imagine it's just kind of too steep and a little too slip for people to walk up. So, sometimes you have to really pay attention to the trail. And it's kind of flattened out. We're kind of on top of the saddle or something. And it looks like maybe something's coming up here. And let's see what we have up here at this spot. This is Confederate gun emplacement 1. You see this little dugout area. The gun would have been down there, and it would have looked over the hilltop towards the river. It was probably cleared of trees pretty much at one time, so they could get a clear view of the river. In November 1862, Confederate engineer Captain Theodore Moreno began building a system of defenses to protect the river from gunboats. Used slave labor, built a powder magazine connecting roads. And so that's the first gun emplacement we're going to come upon. Apparently up here would have been a powder magazine. In fact, you can see which is probably what that dugout area is back there, little trenches back there. Our trail goes along the top ridge, which would have been in front of where the guns were. Here's another gun emplacement there. So you have the gun positions and the trenches behind it, looking out over the river. Looking down over gun emplacement 2, according to this interpretive sign, University of West Florida conducted an archaeological dig in 2010, found remains of the timbers underneath that the gun emplacement was sat upon. Says they had two 32-pounders, one 24-pounder, 3 18-pounders. That's the size of the cannonballs they would fire that were mounted on the battery. So those are pretty substantial siege artillery guns, the 32 and the 24. Yeah, I noticed one kind of tree common in this area. There's a holly tree. You can even see a couple red, or they're green right now, little holly berries on it. So I guess that's like a native North Florida holly. Hadn't yet gotten familiar with all the trees. Seems to be some type of palm, different from a palmetto, more like the, kind of reminds me of some of the South Florida palm trees. Quite different. And there's, once again, there's the trench coming up to another gun emplacement, and got like a small pine tree here. They have loblolly and slash pines up here. Okay, Confederate gun emplacement number 4. And the sign says Bonald's Battalion, Life at the Battery. 5 infantry companies were here from Georgia. And so it was pretty depressing, for the troops were numerous. Nearest neighbor to the camp was Reverend Joe Talley, a Methodist minister. Gregory complained to the headquarters about the soldiers stealing his hogs. Everybody likes bacon. Tells about the fall of Columbus, which once that happened, there's no more need for the battery here. Okay, and on February 8th, 1864, the garrison at Hammock Landing was replaced in order to move to Lake City, where they participated at the Battle of Olustee a couple weeks later. And at the end of the battery, you kind of see the remains of the trench, a big pine tree that died and fell over, uprooting looks like a lot of clay and kind of limestone type soil from here. So took out part of the path, but that's the problem you have with archaeological sites. Sometimes eventually eroded from the natural actions of the plants and the weathering. And gun emplacement 6. Okay, so now I think that's the end of the gun emplacement, overlooking the Apalachicola River. And let's see what we have here. Erosion and stream movement. And this is actually the Florida Trail that goes through there. There's a bench right here. And that's the trail back around the curve on the bluff, which I'll head back that way. But yeah, here's the bluff. And I don't think I'll go down there, but looks like you get a good view.